Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul Breeze, also known as Ralph Dude, and today I bring you a brand new team with Revavroom. This is not a Revavroom team necessarily, it's a team with Revavroom because, as is usual in my channel, I want to showcase different Pokemon, and Revavroom is one of the most, let's say, unique Pokemon from Generation 9 because it has the typing combination that is unique for itself. So I am really happy to bring you this team. And I want to talk about it before we get into the matches as usual. So I would like to remind you that if you want to support the channel, consider leaving a like on the video, and also subscribing to the channel helps me a ton. Now, I do want to say something before getting into that. Actually, I've been, I haven't been able to upload videos in the last week, so I apologize for that. There were some things going on in my country that unfortunately didn't let me record the videos in the way I would have liked to, and just also some personal stuff, so I apologize for that, but please stay with me. I want to continue bringing you guys new teams and new Pokemon that are like more niche in this format, but with some good partners and some good strategies behind those picks, we can maybe have some good teams and some good battles as well. So thank you so much for being here, and yeah, let's get into the description of this team. This is a team that has Revavroom, and Revavroom is a Steel and Poison type that has access to the move Shift Gear. So I knew I wanted to use that. Overcoat is the ability I preferred. I didn't want to use Filter, even though Filter on paper is not a bad ability by any means. I just prefer to be immune to Amoonguss, honestly. Amoonguss is such a, controversial Pokemon. Like, historically, Spore is one of the most broken moves ever created. It also has Rage Spotter, and it has a strong presence in the format. So being immune to that Pokemon completely, because they cannot even clear smog your boost if you get to, maybe set up a couple of shift gears. They cannot clear smog you because you're a poison type, but they would be able to support you if you don't have Overcoat. So that's something I didn't want to. And I think Overcoat Revavroom with this set, Poison Jab, High Horsepower, Shift Gear, and Protect, is really good into Goldango and Amoonguss, for example. Because you can set up a Shift Gear, you resist Making Rain, and you have High Horsepower, which a +1 has a chance of killing Goldango, and the Amoonguss cannot redirect you with the Rage Spotter to avoid that. Also, it's decently good into Incineroar because it has Clear Amulet as the item, and you can obviously set up and then hit it super hard with High Horsepower. Revavroom is a physical attacker that has a respectable 119 base attack. It's not super high, but it's still okay, especially because you're gonna set up. This is setup Pokemon. I don't think there's any other way or any other better way of using this Pokemon. I think Shift Gear is the right way to go here. It's a +2 speed and a +1 attack, so it's a better Dragon Dance, let's say. Better Dragon Dance is never a bad thing. And there are few Pokemon that can actually learn this move in the entire game. So Revavroom being one of those is probably strong reason for using this set. Terra Dragon. Why Terra Dragon? Because Revavroom is only weak to fire and ground. So I decided to go with Dragon, so you resist the fire moves, and also it gives you a couple of interesting resistances to grass, right? Like to electric, water, things like that. But the main reason why I picked Terra Dragon, besides the obvious fire resistance, is because I wanted to use the Dragon Cheer move on my Salamence. And Salamence is right here. It's a Choice Scarf variant with a mixed set. It has Dual Wind Beat, Draco Meteor, Tailwind, and Dragon Cheer. Choice Scarf Salamence, I think, has a lot of space in the current Best of 1 metagame. At least in the Best of 1 metagame, because Choice Scarf Salamence allows you to be faster than things that is, let's say, Salamence is usually good against, but it's not normally able to outspeed. For example, Dragapult, Garchomp, Sneasler, and you can KO each one of those with the corresponding move. Dual Wind Beat allows you to KO Sneasler even through Focus Sash because it hits twice. Draco Meteor allows you to KO Garchomp, Dragapult because you're faster. And then you have Tailwind to, support your team if you really need to click the Tailwind. Sometimes you might not need to, but I figure it was a nice option to have. It's situational, but it's nice to have. And then Dragon Cheer. Dragon Cheer is another more niche move. It's not super good, but it's fun to use. Let's be honest. It's fun to use. For those of you that are not fully sure how this move works, Dragon Cheer is a new move introduced in the DLC that gives your partner a +1 or +2 critical hit ratio. If it's a non-dragon type, it's a +1 crit chance, and if it's a dragon type, it's a +2 crit chance, which mathematically means that you get a 50% chance of getting crits every single turn. So I do have a dragon type besides Salamence in Garchomp, and I do have the Terra Dragon option on Revavroom. So you can Dragon Cheer your Terra Dragon Revavroom or your Garchomp, and then they have 50% chance of critting your opponent, which I think is fun to use. It's probably not super consistent, but it's fun, and we are here to have fun, of course, and also, you know, have a good time with good Pokemon battles. And the Salamence is mixed, as you probably already noticed. It does have a good chunk of attack investment and a decent chunk of special attack investment, but is a hindering nature on defense because you cannot reduce your speed if you want to go Choice Scarf. It would be counterintuitive. And you also don't want to reduce your offensive stats if you want to go mix. So I went with nature that reduces the physical defense. I think it's probably mild. No, mild is for a special attack boost. It was an attack boost, so it's I think it was lonely. Yeah, it was a lonely nature. Plus attack and minus defense. Okay, then we have Garchomp. Garchomp is standard, Life Orb, max speed, max attack, Stompy Tantrum, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Protect, super consistent with Terra Steel for defensive Terra. Believe me, it happened in practice. I don't know if it's going to happen on this video, but sometimes you can lead Salamence through Garchomp. You know, you get Intimidated off, which is nice. You can spam Earthquake next to Salamence, so you can go for the Dragon Cheer turn 1 and Earthquake with Garchomp. And getting crits on both targets, I mean, it's not something that's going to happen. Probably super, like, you know, it's very likely to happen. But it does happen eventually. It happened to me a couple of times against a team that was, like, really passive. I just went for Dragon Cheer, Earthquake, and it was really fun getting the crits there. You know, crits are able to bypass Intimidate. Garchomp does not have Clear Amulet, so if they Intimidate you and you get the Dragon Cheer, this Garchomp is going to have a 50% chance of just destroying everything. So I think that was really cool. Rough Skin, of course, to have some consistent chip damage if they touch you with a physical move. And then we have Volcarona, one of the most, I think, annoying Pokemon ever created because of the move Quiver Dance. Quiver and Flame Body. Quiver Dance is a move that is totally broken. +1 speed, +1 special attack, +1 special defense on a single turn. No drawback. So you get faster, stronger, and bulkier at the same time. And most Volcaronas nowadays are running the Terra Fairy, Terra Blast option. I do want to say that I was considering that, especially because Revavroom is 4 times weak to ground moves. I forgot to mention that. So it's like really bad into Garchomp, for example. But that's why I also put 2 Dragon types in the Salamence Scarf so you can outspeed Garchomp. But having a Terra Fairy Volcarona was also tempting because you can Terra Fairy, go for Terra Blast, get the KO on the Garchomps or on the Dragon types. However, there was a big reason why I picked Giga Drain. A couple of reasons, but the most important one was for Dondozo. Dondozo is a Pokemon that demands a lot of respect. And Volcarona is a really good Dondozo check with Giga Drain Terra Grass, especially if you combine that with an intimidated Pokemon like Salamence. And as you probably already noticed, I have a Mungus on the team. You might be thinking, why don't you just put Clear Smog and a Mungus then if you are worried about Dondozo? Well, there are a couple of reasons. First of all, I've seen some Dondozos on the best of 1 ladder, especially going Terra Steel. So by going Terra Steel, they can ignore the Clear Smog. So I do want Volcarona, of course, if the Dondozo goes Terra Steel, because I can hit them with Fire Move. But if I'm Terra Fairy, they're just going to Wave Crash me, right? And I am not going to survive, even though I'm not weak to it. So Terra Grass allows you to survive the attacks, and also Giga Drain allows you to do a lot of damage with your stab Giga Drain if you Terrasalize, which is going to do around 40% to Dondozo, which is nice. And if they go for Terra Grass or Steel, well, good luck with that. I have a Volcarona. Also, Dondozo is typically paired with Goldango, and Volcarona is a really good Goldango check. So I do want to bring Volcarona against Dondozo teams. So, you know, I figure like it's probably better to not force the Amungus situation if it's not needed. I can still beat it with Salamence and Volcarona, let's say. I can still bring Amungus if I want to, but, you know, Volcarona having a consistent way of beating Dondozo for the most part was what I basically decided to go for with this Terra Grass, Giga Drain, Flamethrower, Quiver Dance, Protect set. It has leftovers to increase its longevity. In combination with Giga Drain is an amazing item to have, because you can force longer battles with that, passive recovery every single turn, and that's amazing for a Pokemon like Volcarona. Really bulky, really, really strong. And then we have the last two additions of the team. At some point, this team, I do want to be honest with you. At some point, this team had a Whimsicott with Sunny Day and Tailwind. The Salamence didn't have Tailwind, had like Heat Wave and Starfire. And at some point, this team also had something like Electabuzz. I tested Clefable. I tested Rillaboom. But I decided to land on these two guys, Amoonguss and Gallade. The reason for that, I wanted better answers to Trick Room teams. Tailwind with Whimsicott and like Sunny Day was nice for like more offensive teams, faster teams, but against Trick Room teams with Ursaluna P2, I was struggling with the first ideas of this team. So Amoonguss was there to help into those P2 balanced Ursaluna teams, and Gallade is there to help into size spam teams with Trick Room. Why? Because Amoonguss, obviously, if they go for Trick Room, you can put the Porygon to sleep. And as you probably already noticed, this Amoonguss has a move that is not really common. It has Grass Knot. The Grass Knot is for the not Bloodmoon, for the Hisuian Ursaluna, sorry. It can also help against Bloodmoon Ursaluna, but it's for the Hisuian Ursaluna, because if they Trick Room, you cannot put Ursaluna to sleep because it's burned because of the Flame Orb. And if you don't have Grass Knot, you're just not doing any damage. Like Pollen Puff does nothing. If you put Clear Smog or Sludge Bomb, they resist that. So you're doing nothing, and Amoonguss cannot help the team out against Hisuian Ursaluna in that case. However, Amoonguss is actually a Grass type. It's not only a defensive Grass type, you can also do damage with Grass moves. It was very common back in the day to have a Grass move on Amoonguss back in, like BGC 16, BGC 15. It was really common, but nowadays people just put Pollen Puff because it's an amazing move to recover your partners. However, I need something to hit Ursaluna, so I might as well just go Grass Knot. It does around 65 to 70% to Hisuian Ursaluna, so that's huge. And it's very bulky on the physical side, so you always, not always, but like 94% of the time you survive a Facade with Gods activated. Neutral. You can also intimidate it if you want to like guarantee you survive, but it's a super high chance of surviving. Almost always you're going to survive a Facade. You're slower than Ursaluna Hisui. You can Grass Knot first, doing around 70%. They don't KO you, you eat your berry, and then next turn you can do it again. And if they Terra, unless they Terra into something that resists Grass, which is usually not the case, they're usually like Terra Ghost, you're still probably dying from another Grass Knot after the the Flame Orb activation or after the Burn chip damage. So that was a nice thing to have here, and also like they're not gonna expect it. Like no one expects Grass Knot Amoonguss nowadays. It can also be useful into other things, like maybe a Primarina you can hit it, like a Dondoso, things like that. But Amoonguss is a consistent Pokemon, can provide Rage Spotter, Spore, Pollen Puff. It's Terra Fairy to be able to redirect Dragon moves. Dragapult can be a problem. You have Double Dragon here. So Terra Fairy can be a consistent way of playing against Dragon types. And also Kingambit. Kingambit can be decently problematic. So I wanted to have a way to disrupt it. You can Terra Fairy, and like survive Terra Dark Kato Cleaves or like +2 Kato Cleaves, things like that. With Black Glasses is going to do a lot of damage. But if you Terra Fairy, then you can have something more consistent against that Pokemon and against Dragon types I mentioned. And then Gallade. Gallade, as I said, good into Side Spam because it has a Wide Guard. And it's also good into Kingambit, into Incineroar, into P2. It's another way of, helping the team out against certain teams and against Tailwind teams. Because if they go for Tailwind, let's say they have a hyper-offensive Tailwind team, with the Focus Sash set that I'm using here, you can survive always one hit. And if they go for Tailwind, you go for Trick Room. And now you put the speed on your side. So it can be a nice option against those as well. Psycho Cut, Sacred Sword, Trick Room, and Wide Guard. I was considering Protect, but I felt Trick Room was better against this Tailwind team that I was mentioning, and I wanted Wide Guard for Side Spam. So you have a Sharpness Gallade with Focus Sash, Terra Grass in case you need to Terrasilize in front of Amoonguss. It's a very consistent physical attacker with Sharpness, boosting the Psycho Cut and Sacred Sword by 50%. So you do a lot of damage. It's not Clear Amulet, so you're still vulnerable to Intimidate, but it's fine. Also, Gallade is a decently fast Pokemon. People usually use it with like almost no speed because of Trick Room, but this one is max speed, max attack, Adamant. And funny enough, Dragon Cheer would also boost Gallade's Psycho Cut crit chance to 50%. If you ever find yourself in that situation, you can Dragon Cheer the Gallade. In Psycho Cut only would become a 50% chance of critting because it's already a +1 crit move. So with the Dragon Cheer, it would be another +1, so it would be +2 because Gallade is not a Dragon type. So that's another 50% chance of critting if you ever find yourself in that situation. But Gallade came to give the team more consistent option into, you know, Trick Room or Tailwind team. So that's the team, guys. You have the rental code in the right side of your screen, and you also have the Pokeface in the description down below. So let's get into the battles. Hopefully, we can have a good video where we can showcase Revavroom and all these partners that I have here. So let's get into the first match of the day. And we found our first opponent of the video. We're playing against Nilton from 887, which is using a Cinderace. Okay, this reminds me of the good old days of Sword and Shield. Cinderace, Whimsicott, Dragapult, Ninetales are Chaludon, and Indeedee. Okay, I'm going to lead Salamence Gallade. This is probably the best lead against teams like this because you can pressure Tailwind Trick Room immediately. And by leading Salamence, you're leading a Scarf Pokemon can help you to potentially pick up a KO if they lead with something that is weak to Salamence moves. The question is, what do I bring in the back? Like, Garchomp seems really good into the majority of this team, barring the 2 fairies. And Revavroom seems really good into the fairies. So I think I'm going to go with those 2. Yep, no Amoonguss, no Volcarona. I think you can make a case for Volcarona. It's also, you know, a good mon into special attackers like Ninetales, like Whimsicott and Indeedee, maybe even our Chaludon. They're going to Whimsicott and Indeedee, actually. So I could Wide Guard here if I want. But if I Wide Guard, I don't Trick Room. So I'm gonna Terra, Dual Wingbeat, kill the Indeedee. Do I need a Terra for something else? I don't think so. And go for a Trick Room. Like, the worst scenario here is they go for a Tailwind Imprison. Like, Tailwind Imprison is my worst, like, outcome here. I'm guaranteed to be faster than Indeedee because the ability activated first, my Intimidate. So I don't know if they know I'm Scarf, because if they are Scarf, they should know that my ability went first. They're not going for a Tailwind, so this should be a KO on the Indeedee. So no Imprison for you, and I can set up Trick Room. Moonblast into Gallade. So we get Trick Room off. Special attack fell, that doesn't matter. We get Trick Room off. So I wonder if the Indeedee was Sash or Scarf. I would imagine in a team like this, you have Sash, you can like imprison Trick Room, but who knows? Okay. I have Garchomp. I'm going to switch into Revavroom. And I want to go for a Psycho Cod here. You can also Wide Guard. If I Wide Guard, that's... I'm going to Psycho Cod into the Whimsicott. Like, Revavroom is technically a great switch in here, right? Like, it resists Ice, resists Moonblast. Oh, it survived. And it's a Jack button. What? Okay. And Cinderace. Freeze Ray. Okay. Is your Cinderace able to protect? I'm gonna high horsepower and Psycho Good Stemton. What if they're like Terra Dark Cinderace or something? I'm just gonna double into the Cinderace with Sacred Sword. The battle was cancelled. Okay. Well, GG. My opponent had no way. Probably the Cinderace is like Choice Banded. I would imagine a Choice Banded Cinderace on a team like that, right? Like you just Tailwind and go for like really powerful Choice Banded moves with your Bunny. But, you know, this is why I put Gallade in this team, as I was explaining in the description, you know, in the explanation of the team. For situations like this, like I can Tailwind or Trick Room, but against faster teams, I'd rather just go for Tailwind, and I can use the Salamence offensively to hopefully eliminate something turn 1, so you can set up the Trick Room and force a 3 versus 4 almost, or a 3 versus 3 sometimes. So GG to our opponent. That was a great game 1. Revavroom unfortunately didn't do much, but it was there. It was there as a switch in, and I was pressuring the 2 fairies with it. A poison, obviously a poison and steel type is good into fairies. And then I also had high horsepower for the Cinderace. It's unfortunate my opponent forfeited, but Revavroom was going to win that game. So GG to my opponent. Let's get into the next one. And we just found another opponent. We're playing against someone from 613 rating, which is using a Dragonite, Goldango, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Grimmsnar. Oh, Annihilate with Kilowattrel. So there is a Tailwind option here. There are screens. The screens are a little bit annoying. Kilowattrel could also be annoying. I wonder if the Annihilate is like safety goggles. I'm gonna go Volcarona Mungus. Try to see if they're goggles or not. And then in the back, I kind of want to go Salamence, but at the same time I kind of don't. Maybe Revavroom with Garchomp. Yeah, let's go Revavroom Garchomp. Like, Revavroom is good into the Grimmsnar, is good into the Dragonite, assuming the Dragonite does not have a ground attack. It's good into the Goldango, because you resist Make It Rain, can shift gear and then pressure with a high horsepower, which, depending on the Goldango spread, can be a one-hit knockout. So, Goldango Dragonite, actually. This is kind of interesting, right? Because I have Volcarona that can pressure the Goldango immediately, but I don't know if the Goldango is a Scarf with Trick. And the Dragonite is like maybe Terra Blast Flying? I'm going to Spore Protect here. It could also be Lumberry. There's no Terastallization. Power Gem. Interesting. It's probably a Scarf Goldango then. And Skill Shot, so that means you are loaded dice. That means you're loaded dice. Which means you're not Lumberry, which means I can put you to sleep. Okay. So turn 1, not too bad. Now I can Quiver Dance Rage Powder. Which would work perfectly unless the Goldango is Terra Grass and goes for a Terra to ignore my Rage Powder, but that's not what's happening here. He's switching out into the Blood Moon Ursaluna. And I'm going for a Terastallization, for a Quiver Dance here. There's no Terra yet on either side. The problem is, what kind of Blood Moon Ursaluna are you? I can Terra Fairy the Mungus if I really want to. But I kind of want to go for the offense. And Giga Drain this thing. They might be Assault Best. I'm gonna Rage Powder just in case the Dragonite wakes up. So I still have Revavroom in the back. My priority should be eliminating this Ursaluna, so I can like set up a shift gear. And there's a 33% chance the Dragonite wakes up here, so it's not super likely. Oh, he went for a Protect. When I rebuild, I have Quiver Dance. What if I just go for another Quiver Dance? Please don't wake up, man. Like, first turn awake would be really bad here. It's first turn awake. Come on, man. Like, seriously, come on. First turn awake. Well, at least I did go for the... thing. But unfortunately, I didn't bring Salamence, so I cannot intimidate this thing now anymore. I'm going to Quiver Dance. Oh man, this is terrible. I can Protect, switch. I wish I had that log when I get put to sleep and wake up immediately turn 1. So I think that's just GG, man. It's GG. I cannot break through this Dragonite. He is Terrestrializing the Ursaluna into a normal type. Into an electric type. Okay. Electric type. But you're not AV. If Dragonite misses here, that would be awesome, but no. 3 times, 3 connects. I just wish you don't have Yawn. If you have Yawn, this is just miserable. It's probably over if you have Yawn. It's probably over. It's definitely over. Yawn. It's over. It's over. It's so over. I think +2 Flamethrower might KO. So maybe it's not over, but I'm going to play it out. It's going to go for a double Protect, right? Yeah. So it's still winnable. But I need a crit on the Ursaluna. Or that they just KO my Volcarona, which I doubt it. I doubt it. They're not going to KO Volcarona unless they miss. If they miss, that could be possible. They switch out. Why do you switch out? Why did you switch out, man? I can wake up now. You woke up turn 1. What if I wake up turn 1? Come on, Revavroom. You can do it. I did wake up turn 1. It's not enough, but... Well, I said I wish I had that luck to wake up turn 1, and apparently the game heard me. The game heard me and said, you know what? You want that? Okay. Here it is. It's leftovers, John. Yeah. Well, I think I'm not in a bad spot then. Revavroom getting the KO on the Scarf Goldango. Kilowatro. Kilowatro. So Kilowatro is faster, can set up Tailwind. That shouldn't be a problem. I kind of want to double the Kilowatro. But if he KOs Garchomp... Why did you save the Kilowatro for the end game? Faster than you, so I'm just gonna... I can go for another Quiver Dance if I want, but I cannot let you go for a Yawn. What if this thing specs Kilowatro? Well, I'm +2 special defense, so... Bye-bye, Terra Electric Ursaluna. Okay. So what are you doing here? Tailwind, right? Yeah, Tailwind. I knew it. Oh no, what if you are Endeavor? What if you are Endeavor? If this thing is Endeavor, I lost. I have to make this display. Like, protecting the Garchomp's so obvious. He could protect Scout from my protect. He could also double the Volcaro now. I think protecting Garchomp's too obvious. But I had to go for that. Air Slash. Giga Drain. So no Endeavor at least is like good. But if you double the Volcarona, I lost. But I think you don't really like lose much by attacking into the Garchomp. He went for the Volcarona. Oh, I can still survive maybe. Nope. Way to crit. Of course, just insult injury. So I think like doubling the Volcarona is not technically a bad play. Because you still have 2 more turns of Tailwind and you are like gonna outspeed the Garchomp anyways after the Tailwind ends. So yeah, it was not a bad play necessarily. Like, the amount of skill shots this player has connected, I think he clicked skill shot 5 times this game. Connected all of them. I was testing the skill shot Dragonite the other day, and I used it, and out of 4 skill shots, I think I missed 3. Or 2. Like, almost. I think it was like 5, and I missed 3, and I connected 2. It was like, yeah. I mean, it's an inconsistent move. I don't know why Game Freak decided that that move should have a 10% chance of missing. I'd rather just know it's like always going to connect. But you know, some players apparently just don't fear that. They just click it and connect. It was a tricky set. The Kilowatt in the end game was honestly what allowed him to win the game. But I don't think he should have switched out the Dragonite. I think staying with Dragonite was probably okay. He was fearing, I suppose, the Poison Jab into the Dragonite slot. But the issue I had is that if I double the Kilowatt, for example, that turn that I had the Volcarona and the Garchomp, I double Kilowatt, then the Ursaluna puts me to sleep with Dawn. So I think I lose anyways. So I had to just KO the Ursaluna and then attack the Kilowatt with Garchomp. And then, you know, next turn was like, basically, who do you target, right? Like, if you target Volcarona, I can protect and attack with Garchomp. And if you target Garchomp, I can protect and attack with Volcarona. And he just doubled the Volcarona, which I think is, as I said, is not a bad play. It's a good play. It's just like, I had to call the slot, and I decided to protect the Garchomp. But if I protect the Volcarona and KO the Kilowatt, then it's going to be a 2 versus 1. And then he probably attacks the Garchomp at that point. So I Flamethrower. He is probably multi-scale, so the Flamethrower is going to do negligible damage, probably 20%. And he's going to be +1. So the next turn I protect. Next turn I go for another Flamethrower. Probably I'm going to do around 40%. He goes for a Scale Shot. And I think I win, actually, because I'm +2. He's going to be +2. Then last turn I protect. Tailwind's over. And then I go for another Flamethrower. It's going to come down to how much the Flamethrower +2 is going to do. But I think, you know, if I protect Garchomp and he just attacks Volcarona, or sorry, the other way around. If I protect Volcarona, he just attacks Garchomp. It's over. I lose. So it was 50-50. GG to our opponent. Let's get into the next match. And we found another opponent. We're playing against Matthew. Matthew 919, which is using a Chandelure Como team with Talonflame. Wow, Talonflame, Primarina, Revavroom, Como O. Chandelure and Ninetales. Okay, Matthew. I think I'm just gonna go my Tailwind mode. I mean my approach, my regular approach against Tailwind teams, which is Salamence, Gallade. And then in the back, I think Revavroom can do a good job with Garchomp, probably. Volcarona, not terrible, but I think Garchomp is better. Is it? Amogus doesn't have any damage, though. I need something to hit Chandelure. Revavroom can hit Primarina. Primarina can be slower if they don't Tailwind. They have a Como, which probably is immune to things. Like to... Could be Overcoat. Well... I'm gonna go Garchomp. I could go Volcarona, but the fact there's a Como and a Chandelure just makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable bringing Volcarona because Chandelure is immune to it because of Flash Fire. And Como obviously is a Dragon type. So let's see. There is a Como. I think I can Draco Trick Room here. But what if he just taunts my Gallade? I can Tailwind Psycho Cut. Not sure if that's the right thing to do though. I want to be locked into Tailwind. I'm gonna Draco Meteor Trick Room, I think. He could very well just taunt me. He's gonna Terrasilize. I imagine the Como. There's no reason to Terrasilize the Talonflame. Yeah. Into a Fire type. Okay, fair enough. Ravert here. He just went for offense. And it's Life Orb Talonflame. And Draco Meteor, unfortunately, is not going to be enough to KO Como. And what is Como doing? Clanging Scales to pick up a double knockout. And this, I didn't expect the Como to be a special one. I probably should have expected it. It's still winnable, but it's going to come down to Revavroom. It's going to Tailwind here, right? So I'm going to Shift Gear. I'm going to Shift Gear Protect. Or I can Terra and go for a Dragon Claw. You switch out Como into Primarina. Interesting. So what are you doing with the Talonflame? I imagine you're going to go for a Tailwind. It could also go for a Flare Blitz. It's a Life Orb Talonflame, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a Flare Blitz into the Revavroom. What? Talonflame is lower than Garchomp. Why on earth would you have that spread on your Talonflame? Why would you have that? It makes no sense. Like, even Adam and Talonflame should always be faster than Garchomp, from my understanding. It should be. Are you Scarf Chandelure? I think this is my best play. Just doubling you. If you're a Scarf, I should outspeed you so you're not Sash. Yep. This is a Revavroom sweep, my friends. That thing was not Sash, so Revavroom was faster. And if it was Sash, I doubled into it. And he went for Haze. Okay, okay. I can respect that. I can respect that. Instead of attacking, you decided to Haze. Fair. But how are you stopping me from doing it again? I can do it again. Stomping Tantrum into your Fire Terra Como. And then just do it again. I mean, technically I could have just Poison Jab this Primarina, but you know, Shift Gear is a nice looking animation, so why not? I'm even faster, so there's no way Primarina KOs both anyways, so yeah. It was just in case, like, you know, the Como protects. Hyper Voice, yeah, doesn't even do half. Throw Spray with Haze. And now Revavroom is going to punish you with a Poison Jab. I am extremely shocked that my opponent had a Life Orb slow Talonflame. Why would you have a Life Orb slow Talonflame? Like, I get, you know, if you want to use a bulky Talonflame, maybe you don't want to invest too much in speed because you want to be like super bulky. In that case, I can understand that a little bit better. Like, you're sacrificing speed because you want a bulky Talonflame. But if you have a Life Orb Talonflame, do you still want the Talonflame to be bulky and slow, considering your Life Orb? So it was weird. But GG to our opponent. Let's get into the next one. And we found another opponent, a Japanese player from 207 rating. And it's using another Talonflame. It's Neasler, Talonflame, Primarina, Bloodman, Ursaluna, Dragonite, and Goldango. So you have Tailwind. I have Tailwind as well, or Trick Room. I think I have to lead Salamence against this kind of teams. And I'm going to go Gallade. Right? And I think against this team, I do want to bring Volcarona, actually. Because there's a Goldango and an Ursaluna, which, like, Volcarona does really good job against. And I wonder if I want to bring Revavroom this time. Every time there is a ground type, Revavroom is probably, you know, questionable. Because Garchomp is also good. Like, has a lot of things that are weak to ground and dragon. Similarly, Revavroom can destroy Goldango and Dragonite. This is a tough question, actually. I think I'm going to go Revavroom just because it's Revavroom's video. I think Garchomp could probably be better, but I think Revavroom is usable in this matchup. In my approach for this team, especially, you know, in this case with Revavroom, is like, if the Pokemon is usable, maybe it's not super optimal, but if it's usable, I might still want to bring it because it's, you know, it's content at the end of the day. Is Inner Focus. Oh. I don't like that. I don't like that. I could Tailwind if I spec a Bravert. But I'm a little bit scared of this Dragonite. If you're Inner Focus, you're like... They're going to Terrasilize here into a normal type or something. So I'm going to Draco the Talonflame, and I'm going to try. I'm going to try to go for a Trick Room. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it off, but I'm going to try. Let's see. Oh my goodness, you're Terra Ground? Well, this guy just found another useful ground type. Dual Wind Beat. Was not expecting you to have Dual Wind Beat, to be honest. Okay. And Earthquake. Why would you go for Earthquake there? I'm not sure. But I'll take it. It's probably Bandit if it's going for a Terra Ground Earthquake. So I'm going to Draco you again. And I think I'm going to Quiver Dance. Without Terrasilizing. He's switching out. Yeah, I don't want to reveal him that I'm Terra Grass just yet. Primarina. Scarf Salamence, baby. No Tailwind for you. Now the question is... The question I have here is... Are you a Solvis or Bandit on the Dragonite? I think you're Bandit, but... What is that Pokemon? It's Dragonite. I'm going to switch into a Revavroom. And I think I'm going to Terra Giga Drain you. And hope you're not AV. It's +1 Terra, you're weak to it. You are not multi-skill because I couldn't intimidate you. You're Inner Focus. So I think we are fine here. And Revavroom can technically seal the game if you somehow survive this. Because I'm going to bring back Salamence. And I can reset and maybe lock into Dual Wind Beat. This is one of the reasons why I have Terra Grass. I think Terra Grass Volcarona is so underrated right now. There are lots of Ursalunas, there are lots of Primarinas, and a Mungus. So let's see. Terragrass Volcarona. Primarina goes for a Protect. That's fine. I didn't attack you. I went for a Stab +1 Giga Drain into your Ground Dragonite. You saw that. That's something you cannot do with Terra Fairy Volcarona, by the way. Okay, so we got the car. It's on the road. The car is here. And it's Sneasler. Okay, I'm going to shift gear. Actually, I don't need to shift gear. I'm going to high horsepower. And... okay, let me think. If you have Fake Out, I can just attack your Primarina. I think my best play is just Giga Drain and shift gear, actually. Because, yeah, I'm going to lose Volcarona. Primarina survives, but I don't think that's a problem. I'm going to lose Volcarona here. Oh, actually, I didn't. But he got to sleep. I would have preferred if you KO'd me. You should go for a Hyper Voice here, so the Volcarona should go down. I think. Come on, go for a Hyper Voice. Go for a Hyper Voice, bro. I'm a Poison and Steel type. What are you doing? Come on. This thing could be Sash, so I can lose. I would have preferred Volcarona going down. Come on, man. Just KO the Volcarona, please. I just want you to KO Volcarona. Like, please, please. You can do it. Come on. Come on. No, man. Kill Volcarona. Okay, Primarina, you can do it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So now I have a free switch into Salamence, and unless Salamence misses its attack, I should be fine. But even if it misses its attack, like, I don't see a way he can win. Maybe, like, he misses its attack, because you cannot Dire Claw, I mean, close combat crit. But, like, I have to miss another dual Wimby next turn. Yeah, he's just giving up. Yeah, Poison Jab into Prim. And this is why we have dual Wimby on Salamence. Even if you're a Focus Ash, you're not going to survive this. And it's going to be a clean Oko from Salamence. And Revavroom put in work. Volcarona put in work. That Talonflame Dragonite lead was kind of weird. You know, if you have Inner Focus, I cannot intimidate you. Terra Ground, Earthquake next to a Talonflame, that almost certain tells me you are Choice Bandit. That was my assumption. You're not a Solvest, but it could have technically been a Solvest Dragonite. I just assumed it was a ground bandit one, so I just went for the Giga Drain. So GG to our opponent. Let's get into the next match of the video. And we found another opponent. We continue with the battles against Lexitan. Lexitan is using a King Gambit balance team, but with Ninetales. There's no Dragapult. There's no Magmar or Electabuzz. It's a Clefable, Ninetales. So I think this is a Revavroom kind of match. I have to be very careful with the King Gambit, though. Clefable has Unaware, so if I set up with Volcarona, that's not going to matter much, but I can try setting up with Revavroom. And Volcarona. And then just have like a Mungus in the back. Because Clefable could be safety goggles. I think Salamence is not bad. The problem with Salamence is the King Gambit, right? But I think I need to find ways to eliminate King Gambit sooner than... I could bring Gallade too. If I bring Gallade, I'm gonna be outsped by pretty much everything. Or they just go for priority. So I'm gonna go without Gallade, I think. The Clefable makes things very interesting because it's not very easy, given that it has Unaware. And could technically be safety goggles. So let's see. It forces to bring Among Us in the back instead of in the front. Really bit more Corona, actually. So I could switch my Bull Corona out. So if you are my opponent, you are not worried about the Revavroom here, right? So I think I'm just gonna go for a Terra and switch into Salamence. This Bull Corona could technically be a Terra Fairy version. Rillaboom could have high horsepower, so... But, like, you should fake at my Bull Corona. He is terrestrializing. So maybe the Rillaboom? The Bull Corona. Why are you terrestrializing Bull Corona into a grass here? That makes no sense to me. Like, why are you fearing? My own Bull Corona could KO you. And you have a poison type, so that was weird. He just went for Heat Wave. Interesting. Very interesting. In high horsepower, he missed. Oh, he went into the Salamence. I mean, into the Bull Corona slot. So, I could Poison Jab here and go for a dual Wind Beat. I think. Dual Wind Beat might not KO. Especially not because he's protected. But Poison Jab is a clean Oko into Rillaboom. That's the power of the car. The Revavroom. Okay, so he saw that I have the dual Wind Beat, so I'm imagining he's gonna bring Clefable here, or maybe King Gambit. Ninetales. I'm gonna Poison Jab you and dual Wind Beat you in case you're Sash. He switches out Bull Corona. That's perfect because I'm not attacking you. And there's the King Gambit. I'm attacking the actual problem, which is the Ninetales. You are Sash, but I'm Choice Scarf. Please, Salamence. You are not allowed to miss this dual Wind Beat. You are not allowed to miss the dual Wind Beat. Please, Salamence. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's Scarf Salamence. So, I have my own Bull Corona and a Mungus in the back. I should win this by going for a dual Wind Beat into Bulk and a high horsepower into King Gambit. It's not going to KO King Gambit. King Gambit has massive defense, but it should do around 60 to 70%. So, I just high horsepower and dual Wind Beat into you. Bull Corona protected. That's Spected. He went for Sucker Punch. Doing a respectable damage. There is a 65%-ish. Okay. 89. I think I survive another Sucker Punch. I'm just going to double Bull Corona, honestly. Yeah, that's the power of the Revavroom. Sucker Punch. He survives. He survives. And gets another KO without getting burned. That's also important. Without getting burned. He is so hot that, I mean, you know, it's a car, it's an engine, that he does not get burned. And that duo Wimby is doing negligible damage there. But that's okay. That's okay, because Revavroom did everything he needed to do in this match. So I just protect here, switch into a Mungoose, and then I Rage Spotter attack, and that's GG. That's a Revavroom sweep. He is not forfeiting. He wants to play it out. Okay. You could technically predict Revavroom's protecting here because of the Sucker Punch and attack the other slot. We'll go for a Swords Dance. Like, that's okay. I don't think that's going to change anything. You just went for Sucker Punch. Yeah, I have a Mungoose. So I just go for high horsepower into you. And a Rage Powder here. Now he does forfeit. The battle was cancelled. That was a Revavroom sweep. GG to our opponent, Lexitan. That was a fun one. I'm happy that Revavroom showed that it can work in this kind of matchup. So GG to our opponent. Let's get into the next battle of the video. And we found our last opponent of the video. We're playing against a Psy Spam team with Hisuian Zoroark. So we have Armors, Indeedee, Hisuian Zoroark, Milotic, Sneasler, and Kingambit. Okay. So technically, one of the reasons why we have Gallade on the team is for matchups like this. However, Hisuian Zoroark is a big problem. It's a huge problem. There's a Milotic also. So I kind of want to go Revavroom. And if you go, like, I can put you to sleep with the Mungoose if you go Trick Room, right? You can also go Garchomp, I guess. I'm gonna go Garchomp. Yeah, so the Revavroom is, you know, it's not weak to Psychic moves, it's neutral. It is weak to Fire moves. So hopefully the Armorage has like Heat Wave only. But, you know, I have White Guard, so I can protect it from Heat Wave and Expanding Force. Milotic Armorage, I have a feeling this is not a Milotic. It's actually a Zoroark. It's gonna like U-turn, I think. So I think I'm gonna Trick Room Protect. I have a feeling he's like Terra Psychic and his Zoroark U-turn into Indeedee, things like that. Yep, we're gonna see that, right? We're gonna see your weak armor weakness policy U-turn strat, aren't we? Yeah. So I'm Sash at least. The problem is I don't have a free switch into a Mungoose yet. And Indeedee can reverse the Trick Room if they have Trick Room. Expanding Force. Gallade Sash. Now the question is, do you reverse Trick Room here? Because I think if I double you, I can win. I'm gonna go for it. Even for Follow Me, so he's not reversing Trick Room. I could have just Wide Guard here. But I didn't want to risk that. Because I have a Mungoose in the back anyways. Yeah, Expanding Force is definitely going to KO the Revavroom, unfortunately. So if I Wyguard there, I don't think it would make any change, like any difference, because Poison Jab didn't do health. So yeah, Revavroom is moving first. Then yeah, is moving before the Gallade. So I know it's Milotic Zoroark, and that's a problem. I think a Mungus Garchomp should win here. Unless that Milotic is like safety goggles, which would be the end of my story here. I'm gonna Dragon Claw you. You're -1 defense, so that should be enough. And I'm going to Spore you. And I'm Terrasalizing just in case he is safety goggles. I guess like the worst possible scenario is like Milotic being safety goggles or Lomberry and getting a Scald Burn into me. That's like literally the worst scenario possible. Yeah, you're going for Protect, that's fine. As long as I put you to sleep. And I think I am doing it. So, yeah. So, I'm gonna Dragon Claw you. I think it should be enough. And I'm going to Grass Knot the Milotic. You could switch. He's not switching. That's a very good damage. And he wakes up turn 1. Scald. Are you kidding me? You're gonna get the first turn awake and burn? Okay, no burn. That's all I am asking for. Like, I don't care if you get a first turn awake, just don't burn me, please. Now the question here is the Zoroark Sash or Scarf? I think it doesn't matter. It might matter if they have like Heat Wave. I think the Sash, it's possible technically. One more turn of Trick Room. Tantrum. Spore. No Tantrum, sorry. Dragon Claw and Spore here. If the Zoroark is Sash, I lose. I think I lose. It's not Sash. Yeah, because like if it's Sash, you protect there. That was my logic. Just to stall the last turn of Trick Room. So, yeah. I mean, it was a risk I had to take at the end of the day. Unfortunately, Revavroom didn't do much in this last game, but, you know, I had a plan, and sometimes it's just, you know, better to prioritize the plan and not just the Pokemon, like, doing something for the video. Dragon Claw should do a good amount. Yeah, and then, like, there's... even if you get another first turn awake, which you're not getting, you're still not able to take this Grass Knot, and... as I said earlier in the team description, Grass Knot was a last-minute pick that I made on this Amoonguss because I was struggling against Ursaluna. Trick Room teams with Ursaluna P2. But technically can also be used against other things, right? Like, Milotic is one of those, of course, like, you know, other water types like Dondoso, for example. Solo Dondoso is a thing in the format, and Grass Knot does a good chunk to it. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a good day, and see you on the next one.